You should be barricaded in your house and kept off of the street for sterilized, lobotomized, left in a car in heat. Cause the things you say and do tell me your brain cells are with you, and that is why I hate you.
Yo, folks, what's up? Welcome to the pod. Guess what? This is going to be a shorter episode than usual. You're not going to have to listen
Finally!
to us for fucking hours. Well, I don't know if you actually do listen to us for 2 hours, but there won't be 2 hours of us to listen to. That's what I'm trying to say. Joaquin's eating. I'm drinking water. We both literally just got back into our homes, so we're trying to get something out quick for you guys. Hey, have you heard about these UFOs all over the goddamn place or whatever they actually are?
This is the next cropping of like UFOs. Was it like a year ago? No, 2 years ago. There was sightings of UFOs, and then 3 years ago before that.
Well, there's always been sightings, and
no,
I think 2 years ago was
like a bunch of them.
No, I know, but I think 2 years ago was like all the military stuff, right?
Possibly.
It cracks me up to like that. It's like, okay, a Chinese balloon was shot down, which I don't understand why people were so. I don't get the point of a balloon floating over the United States. They have low orbit satellites, right? I mean, they can get the same fucking pictures as they would with a weather balloon, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you have to count how much money did it cost to do A to B. So like the balloon might be cheaper. I don't know. Maybe.
I just also think it's funny that we probably spent like $1 million to shoot a fucking balloon out of the sky.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But it's crazy. But then all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, there's all these unidentified objects over the U.S. that we've shot down over the weekend. There are like 4 of them. Yeah, we just shot them down. I don't know. I just think it's hilarious. Like out of nowhere.
They're legit UFOs. They're unidentified flying objects. They're
right.
Not extraterrestrial. They're just somebody put some shit in the air. We want to take it down.
Yeah, but like, how did like 4 at once go up in the air? And like, if it's not some other government with like good technology, like, would they just shoot some dumbass's fucking drone out of the air because they didn't know what it was? Like,
after COVID, people are bored.
That's true.
That goes for like people in fucking suits. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I don't know. I just thought it was weird. It's like all of a sudden, I don't know if I've ever told you, I was terrified of aliens when I was a kid. Ever tell you that?
No.
Oh, no, I was terrified of aliens when I was a kid. I don't know why. You know what? I do know why. I saw that movie, what the Fire in the Sky. That's what it was called. I didn't see it.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen that.
I didn't see it, but I was at the movie theater. And this is back when it was like that old theater by where Caldor was. You remember that theater? It was like that.
Yeah, I used to love that theater.
Yeah, I was little. And I was seeing something else, and I don't know why, but we were leaving the movie, and I opened the door to the Fire in the Sky theater, and I literally happened to open it at the part where the guy was getting like teleported up into the sky. It scared the bejesus out of me. And then from then on, like, I'm not kidding. At night, I would like look out my window looking for UFOs in the sky, and then I'd say a prayer to not be abducted by UFOs, and I'd like fucking like slide it in there. I'd be like, please bless my mom and my dad and my brothers and my whole family, and keep us safe and all my family, and don't let me get abducted by aliens. I just like slide it in at the end.
I love kids' very specific fears. Because it's real for them. That no matter what, it is very real for them.
Absolutely.
Speaking of aliens, have you seen the movie Aliens? The second one.
Yeah, the like regular alien movies. Yeah, I've seen all of them.
Yeah, the regular alien films. I could not drink milk for a good chunk of my life
because of the androids.
Because of Bishop.
Yeah.
Milk made me so nauseous because of that movie.
Isn't it weird how that scene, like, they've got like, I don't know, they look like PVC tubes or something, and just milk.
But it's so gross.
But it was so gross.
So gross.
It looked so graphic.
I think it's because they went with the whole H.R. Geiger look.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
And it just is like, everything H.R. Geiger is so organic and just gross. Because robots wouldn't necessarily be gross.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, I don't know why they'd be filled with milk fluid anyway. Like, there'd be no reason for that.
Like, but there's a difference between watching Bishop get ripped in half and watching the T-800 Arnold Schwarzenegger robot get ripped in half.
Yeah, completely different.
It's just two different things. And the T-800 is supposed to have human parts.
You know, I don't think I saw the Aliens movies till I was a little older anyway. Because I remember I bought the box set of Aliens 1 through 3 on VHS, so it was a while ago. And I watched them we went on vacation to the beach, and I watched them at night by myself. In the living room of our beach house or something like that. So I was a little older when I watched those, but yeah, I was scared of aliens forever. And I'm not going to get into ghosts on this episode. We'll get into ghosts in another episode. I had some weird I'll tell you about my house when I was a kid. I don't believe it's weird that I don't believe in ghosts, but I had some crazy shit happen when I was a kid in my house. I'm pretty sure my house was haunted. I'll get into that next episode. We'll talk about it because we don't have a lot of time today. But yeah, the UFOs were crazy, and then this environmental disaster in Ohio, which is just obscene. Like they're like, okay, get the fuck out of here. There's crazy fucking chemicals being burned and shit in the air and the water. And like 3 days later, they're like, nah, it's good. Come on back. Everybody come back.
I might have had a brain fog while you were talking. You heard about the plant that went up in Florida, right? Like there was a plastics plant or something.
When was that?
Plastics factory or plant a few days ago, I believe.
Oh no!
People were reporting that they were smelling it all the way up here. Even my wife, like before she found out, she was smelling it up here.
Well, speaking of, apparently the stuff in Ohio and Western Pennsylvania, there are people reporting around our area here today. I just saw a post from one of our legislators or our legislator or something, one of our governmental bodies for the county that said there are reports of a chlorine-ish smell throughout the area, likely because of the wind blowing. I guess there's a very strong jet stream blowing it our way, which is crazy. I mean, we're hundreds of miles away from that, and apparently you could smell it around our area. I'm
just waiting to go online to find conspiracy. You see, COVID didn't work, so now they're trying to blow up these factories to poison us. I'm waiting for it.
I was disgusted last night because I looked. I didn't look. I have a subscription to New York Times and the Washington Post, neither of which I think are great, necessarily the best.
Yeah.
But they're like, I don't know. If you're going to read a newspaper, they're probably the better of the ones to read. Digital subscription.
I have an app that's supposed to be like try to gauge what's left leaning and what's right leaning. That's a good idea. And it flat tells you. It doesn't it's not giving you the news. It's saying this is this news source. Hey, this is the same story from this news source. This one's more left leaning. This one's more right leaning.
Yeah, that's smart.
Like it tells you.
Well, this was weird because
you
I actually saw him, and I think my Google News feed or something, and I clicked on it, but it was a New York Times article, and the article was essentially the gist of it was, there's this big environmental disaster. But the EPA and all the other agencies are saying everything's fine, it's no big deal. And all the right-wing people on Fox News and Tucker Carlson are acting like this is a cover-up or a conspiracy. And I was like, I was disgusted because it was just like, I thought fake news was like the rights thing. And now I'm reading a liberal-leaning New York Times writing an article about how it's all fake news, that it's actually detrimental to your health, which I don't know how you could be dumb enough to not think there's some health effects that are going to come out of that. You can't be
very true. Right? Here's a thing that's the same with both the left and the right. They're both related in this regard. There are always grifters, and they're going to appeal to the most extreme of their belief system.
I guess you're right. It's just I mentioned that book I read before, Constitution of Knowledge. I always associate, the left does cancel culture and that kind of shit to get things out of the way that they don't like. And the right uses the whole fake news bullshit to say anything that they don't like isn't true. So it was weird for me to read what I thought was a reputable newspaper. The New York Times, supposed to be a reputable newspaper, putting out an article that's just like, oh, fuck them. It's all these right-wing lunatics saying that it's dangerous. The EPA says it's fine. When I can't see how any average citizen, regardless of your political affiliations or leanings, can't go all these chemicals being burned down the street from me and in the air and in the water, visibly in the water. There are videos you can see of the color smears and shit that the oil slick looks in their rivers and shit. It's you can't possibly think that there's nothing to come of this. But I mean, the same shit happened around 9/11, right? Where there's all this dust and debris and shit in the air, and they were like, okay, it's all cool. You can go back to work. When there's
all you firefighters and rescue workers, you're fine. There's not going to be a lawsuit commercial down the line.
It's bad enough the people that were directly there dealing with the aftermath.
No, but everybody else in the city up here where we are, just
there's there's a fucking inch thick layer of ash and dust and whatever. Who the fuck knows? On your car or on your awning and you're on your windowsill, and they're like, "No, you're all good." And now, obviously, 20 years out, we very well understand all the health issues that came out of that. And again, it's ridiculous that people had to, Jon Stewart had to fucking fight to get care for the people that dealt with it. But I don't see how this could be much different. You can't have some crazy volatile chemical being burned in a pit and just be like, oh yeah, it's fine. Anyway.
Don't worry. Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. No,
Yeah.
that you mentioned that, I saw a short on YouTube, which I used to hate the idea of shorts, but this has been like I've been using them like crazy. It's really fun.
Well, I mean, they're
like,
not much different than TikTok. It's basically like the
That's
TikTok
why I
version
hate
of
it.
YouTube, right?
That's why I hate it.
Yeah, it's sorry, before you go on, I did too. Like, I actually, if I watched a short by accident, I would go in and delete it from my YouTube history because I was so annoyed by them. But I found that I am starting to watch them more and more now too. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, the brainwashing. Somebody posted a video from a movie. Bill Burr was doing a monologue because that's what Bill Burr does.
Right.
And it's called "Why Psychos Run the World."
Oh, I feel like I remember. This
think
was an older movie, right?
Yeah, this is a movie. I think it's called Immoral Compass.
Oh, I was telling you about that. I was telling you about that. Yeah, a couple episodes ago. Remember I told you Bill Burr had the short horror.
Oh shit, you did, because you were talking about how his hair looked.
Yes.
Those
were fantastic.
I watched that on repeat. I fucking loved that.
Dude, the whole, like I told you, the series is excellent. You got to watch the series.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to.
You literally can watch the whole thing in like an hour and a half because they're like 10 minutes long and there's only like 10 of them. So it's not going to take you long to watch. You should check it out though. No, but I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else I had on my list of couple things. Like I'm trying to get the shit out of the way so we get to our topic.
While you're thinking, before I forget, and I'm going to do it really quick. So I've been playing, and I apparently now I am transphobic because of it. I've been playing Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh, you fucking cunt. How could you play that game? How could you support that cunt? Oh my God. I saw one of my friends was playing it too, and she posted like a screenshot and somebody wrote under it like, I refuse to play this game and support that bigot. And I just commented and was like, she didn't make it, right?
she consulted maybe once or twice. And the rest, they separated completely from her. Well, because
either way, this is a much bigger argument over separating the art from the person. You could talk about Michael Jackson and R. Kelly and all these other people that
exactly
have the same things going on. I mean, arguably, never mind. I don't want to get into the how bad the what they did was J.K. Rowling versus Michael Jackson versus whoever. But
what. In those cases, those are like more direct situations, but this one's like she's putting money into these hateful groups, whatever.
Is she actually putting money into them?
Yeah, she's like.
I didn't know.
She's close friends with a lot of like TERFs and people who.
Right, I thought it was.
She donates to those.
I didn't realize she was putting money into it. I thought it was still just going back to her comments she made.
One, she made her money off. This is what this rings to me. The whole thing. I have a trans friend who has to play the game in secret. Because he can't.
So stupid.
Because he can't. Because he's. I don't like Harry Potter. I don't like the story. I treat it sort of like how I like Star Wars. I like the world. I don't really like the story.
Yeah, same thing. I want to play the game for the same reason. I think the world and the game looks awesome. The world in the game looks good. I'm not crazy about Harry Potter or the movies or the books or anything.
Absolutely.
Or any of that.
But he is. He ever since I've known him since middle school. Loved Harry Potter.
Right.
And this is their dream. They have robes. Him and his girlfriend have robes. They have wall scrolls. They have the scarves. They went all fucking in on this. Right. This game finally arrives, and they were able to say this person, the creators of Monster, but she finished the fucking series. The series is already out there. The series exists to the public. And guess what? This person, J.K. Rowling, already made her money off of us. She already did.
Well, that's one of the 2 points I had.
Clothing. Wore her sheep's clothing, made her fucking money, and then showed that she's a fucking psychopath.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
the 2 points I had, because the guy commented something about like you said, like, oh, she consulted on it or something. And I was like, well, the way I look at it is there's two things. One, that bitch is already rich. Nothing you do is going to prevent her from having more money than anybody else in the fucking world. All right, you know what I mean. She's already got a god rich. She doesn't need more money. And two, you are shunning the hundreds of people that worked on making this game and bringing it to life to spite one bitch that you don't like.
That's my thing. This reeks of somebody who this, as I was going to say before, they invested into this and now they regret it, and so they're going to cut off their nose to spite their face. They're just going to burn it all down.
Exactly it. It just didn't make sense to me. I'm like, there are all these people that worked on this game that you're just like, fuck you. I'm not going to play the game you worked on because I don't like this one bitch.
Game development, 1, isn't easy. 2 is fucking backbreaking. I have friends in college who tried to get into gaming. I don't know if they are in gaming. Hopefully they are. But I watched their process of trying to learn how to do it. And it's ridiculous.
Well, to go back to our Roblox episode, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, these people go and have all this fucking info they have to absorb to be able to make a good game instead of these shitty little bullshit games that they're making on Roblox. But anyway.
And they put all their heart and souls into it. They're getting paid, nowhere near as much as this bitch was. And she's going to get royalties. You know what else she gets royalties on? The clothing and shit that's already still out. The books that are still getting sold.
Yep.
The movies every time they fucking play on public television.
Yeah.
She's going to make her money no matter fucking what. Anything short of killing her will stop her from getting her fucking money.
Well, again, like I said, she's already got more money than she could possibly ever know to do it. So any extra money she's making on top of that is just, she doesn't care. Like, it doesn't, she's not, I doubt at this point she looks at her bank account and goes, oh, it's growing. She has so much money. She's just like anything else that goes in, it's like, okay. Yeah.
But this is that Twitter derangement that all these people and her and Dave Chappelle and all of them have, where they think like somebody has a bad take, somebody says something stupid, and you just go to war. You just fucking go to war.
Yeah. I mean, look,
add no nuance to it. You're just fucking with the people who put their heart and souls in the game. And one thing I can say about playing this game, even though it's not perfect, I ran into some glitches. The eyes are a little wonky. Like, the characters move their eyes very realistically, like Uncanny Valley. But the game sometimes gets confused when the camera moves and their eye jitters really weird. But
it's fun.
But overall, you could tell a lot of love and attention went into this game. When I gave up with believing what people say about the game, like trans-wise, because I looked it up, there is a trans character in the game. They make it a point to meet this character. Her name is Serona Ryan. I read like 3 articles on this character simply because I was like, wait, so did they put her in an afterthought? Like, what?
Yeah,
Did they like rush her in? No, she's organically in the game from what I could tell. Mm-hmm. But people are still fighting. Well, they're now nitpicking it, going, well, her name is Sir Rona Ryan because Sir, because it's undermining bad naming choice. Even though Serona is the name of a Celtic goddess.
Oh, wait a minute. You mean the name Serona? Uh-huh. They're trying to separate it out and going, oh, well, they used Sir because they're just trying to. It's like an under the rug thing. They're trying to say like, fuck you anyway.
They're calling her Sir Ryan.
I'm like, so stupid.
It's not a trans. It's not a transphobic cabal. It's one transphobic bitch.
So I was going to say, do they think there's some transphobic group in the game development, or not even group? It would have to be a pretty large group. The whole game development team is secretly transphobic, and they're like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, shut the fuck up. The character is in the game. She is a main like supporting character in a bar.
Look.
As far as I know. But you got Serona, and you just completely missed the name. The character's name is based on a fucking healing goddess.
Nobody's going to look that up, dude, though. They're just going to look at the one dumbass in the comes up with the idea, puts it out there. Nobody's going to go think about it.
They mentioned it in the article.
Oh.
And then they just skipped over it. They just said, it's a goddess. But
what I wonder where you're Polygon. I used to really like. They've gotten really preachy with their shit. Mashable's gotten kind of preachy. I never liked Mashable for game reviews. They got preachy. The one that I got rid of
Kotaku. I was done with Kotaku.
The one, and it's not a gaming mag, but Wired. Did you see the Wired one?
Fuck the Wired. But
the Wired review.
I haven't seen it, but I know about.
Well, the Wired is more tech stuff, not games. But Wired put out a review. They gave it a 1 out of 10. It was written by a trans person, and the review basically read like, I don't even give a fuck if this game's good. I'm giving it a 1 because fuck that bitch. And that's why I'm giving it a 1. And then like if you look at the other articles written by the reviewer, like she doesn't review games either. It's almost like they're like, we're going to have the trans person on our staff review this, which is patronizing and ridiculous to begin with. But we're going to have her do it. And she's going to break this. I don't even think, like, I'm reading the review and I'm like, I don't even think she even fucking played it. So to put out for Wired, which has been around for a long time, to be like, yeah, go ahead, we're gonna put out this review written by this person that maybe didn't even play the game, just for the sake of shitting on the game because of the person who created the lore. I don't know.
Either be they're too scared to like look bad because they're on Twitter too.
Yeah, but there's a difference
between
look like
the bad guy.
But look at all the other articles you're reading where they're kind of like, they're commenting on it. You know, they're still going to review the game and talk about the game as a game, but they're going to just bring in this other aspect and say like, yeah, we understand that aspect. There's another thing to just be like, fuck this game, 1 star, go fuck yourself.
I could get the trans person who secretly trans person. It doesn't nullify them that they're a trans person wanting to play this game.
I mean, you know,
and
it goes back to,
it has to do it in secret. That pissed me off for days.
It's probably, and I'm just obviously guessing. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm not informed about these things, but I'm guessing that most of the people online bitching are not trans. they're just social justice warriors, people virtue signaling, that kind of shit, that are on there just to make the statement. There's probably a lot of people that aren't even gamers and weren't going to play the game to begin with that are all on there. Well, bitching about it.
I do have another trans friend that is on the other side. But there's a reason why I don't listen to her. The reason why I do not listen to her is because years ago we had a debate. I walked into a debate with this person.
Oh no, that's the worst kind of debate.
Yeah. They were screaming and yelling about how the Xbox 360 is a superior system.
Wait, how does this
First of all, you already know this is a bad argument.
Okay,
not ahead. Because the Xbox sucks or anything like that, but just because they're having this argument.
Yeah, well, okay, go ahead. I'm not even going to get into it.
The other friend is going, you sound like an asshole. That's really where they were going.
Right.
The person who owns both a 360 and a PS4, or a PS3.
PS3 at the time, yeah, yep.
Owned them both. I preferred my PS3, but I preferred the controller to my 360. I owned a game, the same game, on both because I borrowed it from someone and I never gave it back because they moved.
Yeah, I get it.
And I was just like, okay. So I owned the same game on both systems. So I played, it was Saints Row 2.
Oh boy, the Saints Row game.
It was Saints Row 2 that I owned. And I played them on both. I had faster load times on the PS3. The controller sucked because PlayStation controllers generally had sucked. I don't know about the new DualSense.
I like the DualSense for the PS5. It's definitely better than the old controllers. I think the Xbox controller, though, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the Xbox 360. Well, it is a 360 controller, even if it's for the new series.
You know what the best controller was? No, the best controller was the Stadia.
If you say the N64,
no, the Stadia controller. It was good. It was great. They unlocked them. They did unlock them, which is great. So I'm able to use it for other things. No, I kept them because they unlocked them. So I can use them with anything now.
Stadia.
I got rid of Stadia, but the controllers I kept. I had fucking 4 of them. I have one by my computer for if I play on my PC. I've got one up with my Steam Deck, and then I've got 2 in the living room if I dock the Steam Deck.
Damn. Okay.
I mean, I just was like, I might as well hang on to them. They're not so they don't go in the ocean. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you did say that.
Yeah. So I'm happy.
Yeah, just to end it. But they're arguing this point, and I'm telling them I own both. We're all arguing anecdotal evidence here. I'm the only one who owns both systems and have played the same game on both systems.
Right.
I'm going to explain to you.
Yeah, what
my experiences are.
You've actually got the control set with you've done the experiment. You know, I don't know why I said the control. You've got the experiment in front of you.
And and they just refused they just married themselves to that idea so deeply.
Well, that's no surprise.
And this person ruined a bunch of friendships doing the same thing.
Well, that's just dumb. Ruining a friendship is fucking dumb.
My wife, for the same person, They used to work in Ren Fair, which says a lot about them. They got stranded, and their car got towed.
Okay.
And my wife offered to pay half and drive them to get their car. They said, you'll have to find the rest of the money, the other half of the money, but I'm willing to pay up to half. This person then posted on Facebook at the time about how they can't deal with fake friends and people who only do things halfway. And it wasn't like it was like minutes after my wife offered this.
Yeah, it's pretty clear.
And mind you, I was deployed, so I didn't see this. I didn't see it happen in real time actively. I saw it from across the world.
Dude, this is why I have
and
like 2 friends.
And they had to have an intervention. Yeah, they had. I gave up having friends after this.
This is why I have 2 friends.
They had to have an intervention, which this person just fucking ignored everybody. So I just can't agree with that mindset, because you married yourself to this stupid fucking idea, and no matter what amount of evidence or facts or examples you get, your thoughts are the only thoughts that matter. Well, then fuck you. And I feel like a lot of people have that, and that is what the Twitter fucking syndrome is.
Yeah, no. I mean, look, just to sum it up, my stance is that, look, if you don't want to play the game because of your own personal ideas, that's totally cool. Just like being a vegetarian. You know, if you are an ethical vegetarian and you don't want to eat meat because you don't like the treatment of the animals, or you don't like whatever it is, totally cool. Just don't go around preaching and hating on people that don't agree with you about it. You know, like that's all. You could do whatever the fuck you want.
Teacher.
Vegans. Actually, I think pescatarians is on our list, because I hate those fuckers. You pick a side, pick a lane. We'll get it. We'll do them one day. Yeah. So anyway.
Right, yeah.
So
I'm sorry I derailed again.
My son's been sick like forever. I told you. Well, last weekend we were all sick. Oh, I didn't get the stomach bug. He told me the other day that his butt spit. He's in the bathroom. He was in the bathroom, and I hear him go, "Dad," and I was like, "What's up, buddy?" And he's like, "I need help." And I was like, "What's the matter?" He's like, "My butt spit again."
You know what? That is the cutest, grossest thing I've heard in a long time.
Dude, I've dealt with a lot of liquid feces in the last week or so. Yeah, so that was fun. What else? Anything else? Oh, man, dude, I went... There's another funny anecdote, little story. I went to the deli down the street from me the other day, and I go in, and there's a man and a woman, just obvious meth heads. Like, they had all the signs. They're like too skinny, the smell, the sunken face, and like the craggy look, and like it was so, they were both like just so like, oh, they were just gross looking, because they looked like they've just smoked meth like for weeks at a time on end.
They just look like they're going to tell you a Tales from the Crypt.
And again, I'm not judging their physical appearance like they're ugly. I'm saying they look gross because they look like they did meth all the time. And the dude comes over with 4 loose condoms and puts them on the table. There's 2 counters, and he was on the one next to me, and he just slaps down and he goes, "How much are these?" to the girl there. And she's like, "Oh, they're 99 cents each." And I just look at the dude that was helping me. I went, gross.
If your penis looks anything like you, sir, have you ever seen a Slim Jim?
Ew, God. Oh. Dude, if your dick looks like a Slim Jim, you need to go seek medical attention. And I'm not talking about the width. I mean, if you got if that's your width, then I'm very
no,
sorry.
like just
but if it's just
like the texture,
and like
slightly oily,
slightly oily, and has that weird meat smell. Yeah, it was gross. It was just funny to me. I was just, I walked out and I was like, well, at least they're not procreating.
True.
But anyway, all right, should we get into our topic so we don't run out of time here?
It's time to begin the complaining.
Okay, today we are going to talk about scammers, and we had this request a while ago as a topic, and I don't know why it didn't come up sooner, because I feel like every fucking day I get hit with a scammer of some sort. But can we just all agree that these people are the fucking worst in the world?
Well, they're leeches. They're absolute leeches.
Well, they're leeches, and they're just like. I think it goes beyond that, though. Like, you could be a leech and like leech off somebody you know, or whatever it may be. But there's a difference between that and preying on people, and it's just like so. There's so many different kinds. I had an email come through to me this week. Yeah, it was just a couple days ago for a domain renewal, and it was just a generic email, and it had like a name like United States Domain Registration Service, and it had my domain, one of my domain names, because I have a million of them, and it said, coming up for renewal, click here to pay, and it went through to a website that looked kind of legit. They did a nice job where they had the URL had a query string in it, which passes through. Basically, you put a query string in the URL, if you don't know, people, and it can pass through information to the website. So they had the URL and the query string so that when I went to the page, it actually populated the domain name on the site. So it looked like it was more legit. And then it was through PayPal. Like, I was like, let me see how they're doing this. And it was to pay for the domain through PayPal. But it's totally bullshit. Like, I do this for a living. I know how to register domains. I know where they have, but I've gotten clients that have sent me those emails many times. Like, hey, do I have to renew this? I'm like, no, your domain is with GoDaddy or whomever it may be. This is just some bullshit phishing email. Not phishing. They're not trying to get information. They're trying to get money. Trying to get your fucking money. I have gotten countless emails where do you ever watch the YouTube scammer videos, all the guys on YouTube that deal with them?
Yes, I do. Sometimes I do.
Some are great, like what's his name, Kip Boga, something like that. He just fucks with them. And then there's a guy named Jim something that actually hacks them back. Like, he hacks into their computers and fucks their shit up, and hacks their camera systems.
That's a superhero.
Yeah, he's fucking amazing. I can't remember his last name. I'll put it in the show notes. But his videos are great because he actually hacks into their system and fucks their shit up, goes and gets CCTV stuff. He'll actually intercede, like he'll get into their system and see if they get to the point where they're going to steal money from somebody. He'll actually call the person and get on the line and be like, yeah, you're on the phone with a scammer right now. They're fucking trying to take your money. But I've gotten a bunch of those, which are the India-based ones, where you get the fucking email and it says like, oh, you just bought this shit at Amazon. If you didn't want to purchase this, click here for a refund. I get that
email all the fucking time.
Or call for a refund. Yeah, I've got ones that say you've won a prize, call this number. Those guys are fucking sinister, though, the way they hack into these people's computers, mostly the elderly. They get in their fucking computers. They'll go in there. They'll be like, oh, open your bank account. And these poor people don't even think about it, open their bank account, and then they will go in and say, okay, we're giving you the refund. And they open like a fucking notepad and have them type in information that makes no sense. And they run a C prompt. So they'll go into their system, open a C prompt, which is just a DOS prompt, which is the dumbest shit in the world, and run a little script that makes it look like something's happening with a bank. And then go into their bank account, hide the screen from the person, and inspect the site with Chrome. I don't know if you're familiar. Anybody that's not, you can inspect a site to view the code source. You can actually edit the code source for the page and make the page change. So if it looks like
I've accidentally opened that before.
Yeah, so you can actually, if it says like their balance is $10,000, you can open in the inspect tool. It'll show you the code. You go into the code and change 10,000 to 12,000, and it'll look like on the page it says 12,000. And they go in and they'll look at the last transaction in their account and change the code for all of that in the browser itself to say it was, a transfer of $10,000 to their company. And then they get the person to go and buy them gift cards, which makes no sense. They're like, oh, I accidentally overpaid you. As soon as
somebody says gift cards, it's like,
I know,
okay, we're done.
I overpaid you. I accidentally gave you an extra $1,000 back in your refund. I'm going to get fired. And they prey on them. They'll say like, they'll cry and say, oh, I'm going to lose my job. My family's not going to get fed. And then they ask them to go buy gift cards at the grocery store and give them the numbers, which is just like that. I mean, I guess for the elderly, it's they don't know what they're talking about. Like my grandmother doesn't use a computer. God forbid she had a computer. She'd probably get this shit all the time.
My mother-in-law has had her computer locked out at least 4 times since I've known her.
With like ransomware?
With scammers, with ransom scammers.
Jesus Christ!
She at least 4 times. The time I remember the most, because this scared her and went into her bank account. they called, her thing was locked out. She thought she was talking to people fixing the phone. She gave them the information, so they remote connected to her laptop.
Right.
And
yep.
was dicking around on there. Because
well, that's what they
the person
do.
who's closest to using computers in the house is me. Not in the house, because I was living there around
to her.
It's me.
Yeah.
But like my wife must have gotten this from my mother-in-law. They don't listen to me when I say don't do some shit.
Of course.
And her father knows not to do shit. He's like, I don't fucking know how to use it, so I'm just gonna look up my car shit and then close it. Like that's what he does.
Right.
She does like genealogy and she runs a business. She's all over the place.
Sure.
So she is going on, clicking and downloading, and then she gets a call because her computer's locked up. They call shortly after her computer locks up, and she gives them her information, and they go in and wreak havoc. They lock it up even more and say you have to pay this amount of money, and they do that thing where it's like the key stroker.
Yep.
And they find out her bank account information. And it took months to fix that. And then she does it again right after.
I was gonna say eventually they're gonna once the elderly the boomers and up generation that's not great with computers ages out. They're eventually not going to have, I'm hoping, as many people they can victimize with those things because the generations that are growing up with computers are going to be wary. But at the same time, I mean, they do this to municipalities and hospitals, with the ransomware. So it's not, it's not just that.
It's not necessarily the success of being able to trick somebody. It's overwhelming people who are already busy and overwhelmed. You overwhelm them.
That's true.
It's just for anybody who has kids, you're cooking dinner, you're trying to make sure the dishes are washed because you need to have dishes for when dinner's cooked. The laundry's still going, and your kids are asking you for shit every 2 seconds. And you're like, no, wait until I'm done. No, my hands are covered in chicken. No, I'm washing my hands. No. Fine, just go. Yes, okay, yes. Fucking just do whatever. I don't care. Stop fighting. I don't know. It's the same thing with these fucking people. You can say no over and over and over and over and over again. They will catch you on a day where you're not all there.
Yeah, some of them are like that. But if you watch some of the videos on YouTube of these ones with the elderly, they take hours. They get them to download the software to their computer. They get them to log into their bank account. They get them to open these notepad prompts and type all this shit out. Then they get them to go to a fucking store or a bank and take out money or get gift cards. Money. That's time consuming. That's why the one dude I was talking about, he fucks with them just to waste their time, and he has a clock. Yeah. He'll waste 5 hours of a scammer's time and then just fuck them over at the end. He'll go and redeem the gift card. He has all this fake shit set up, so he'll go in and actually redeem the gift card on a fake. He doesn't get a gift card, but he has a fake site where it looks like he's redeeming a Google Play gift card. And the scammers will start screaming no, what the fuck are you doing? You're supposed to give me the code, not put it on the site. And he's just oh, it says $500 has been credited to my account. And they get really mad. But the fact that these people make it their living and their job to go and take advantage of people that aren't, not smart enough. It's just they're too ignorant to know what they're getting into.
Gullible.
It's not even gullible. It's just ignorance. They don't know enough about the technology. They don't know what's going on.
You know what? And you sound like a subject matter expert, and then
these people call them and they say they're from Windows or Norton or
to authority.
Amazon.
They think you're an authority.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. And the fact that they get these people to do this shit is crazy. So all the YouTube guys that are fucking with them and wasting their time or taking them down are awesome. But the sheer level of scumbag you have to be to make that your living, that you're going to go and take advantage of people that don't know any better to steal their money or have them buy you fucking gift cards that you're going to sell on eBay or whatever the fuck it is.
There's no desperation behind that.
There's no desperation.
That's just malice.
You're right.
Just malice.
You're not stealing to feed your family. You're just a piece of shit who should be shot in the street. And my friend Sandy, who's in India, which speaking of his surgery I mentioned was a complete success.
Oh yeah,
he's all good. Awesome. His tumors were not cancerous. I'm so happy that he seems to be on the mend, and he should be. It's going to take some months for him to heal. but he's doing well.
You know what? He's around for months to have it heal. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, it was. I'm so happy he's okay. I don't worry. But I've asked him, and he says like these people are like they're scum in India too. Like the people that do it, like they are thought of as they're just.
Are they
scumbags.
like the masters?
I don't know.
The ones in India.
They have these huge centers.
That's where the stereotype, at least for in America, came from. And like the people, like they're smart. They know what they're doing.
They do.
There's the Nigerian prince, which that's the funniest one to me.
Oh, those are the original scammers. You know,
yep,
with the
that
email
is the
scamming.
funniest one to me.
But those go back to the the early days of email when you weren't really aware. Like I feel like everybody knows about the Nigerian prince scams via email. I mean, we could get into a million scammers. We could talk about the 90 Day Fiance K1 visa scammers and all that other shit. I'm primarily talking about these scammers that use phone and email to try to scam.
Yeah.
IRS ones. I've had those. I've had them call multiple times, saying they're from the IRS and they want your social security number, and I fuck with them.
I was just about to mention that one. That happened to me, but they don't call me. They text me.
Oh, they text you?
Yeah, like the fuck. It's like text me like 3 in the morning.
Yeah,
text me like 3 in the morning. I'm like, the fuck. What am I gonna text you my social security? I don't like writing it on anything. Yeah. What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't think I've gotten text. I've gotten calls a few times, and I not to have this come across as racist or xenophobic or anything, but they always have an accent, usually a really thick Indian accent, and they say they work for the IRS, which could be somebody who migrated to the country and is now an IRS agent. Sure. But it's like right off the bat, I'm just like, boy.
It rings kind of odd.
Yes. It's just like, okay, you seem to have broken English and a really thick accent. And you saying you work for the government. This, I don't know, something just feels fishy because I know that these scams are out there. It's not anything else. And I just fuck with them. I just go, I usually do an old man voice. I'll be like, okay, where are you calling from again? And I usually like take 4 or 5 minutes. I don't go for hours. And then I just go, okay, 1 second. Fuck you, you fucking scamming piece of shit. I know you're just trying to steal shit. Fuck you preying on people. Go fuck yourself. I hope you rot in hell. And they usually go, fuck your mother. Fuck you, bitch. Fuck you. That was a really bad accent.
My social anxiety is way too high for that. I really don't like confrontation like that. So what I end up doing,
I love confrontation. I can't believe I haven't gotten the shit kicked out of me before.
So I'll passively ask them questions so I can gauge if I'm hanging up on the right person.
Right. Makes sense.
And after I hear enough like alarm bells go off, mid sentence, I'll just hang up on them.
Well, as far as I know, the IRS never calls. They will not call you. They will not ask for that information over the phone. I don't know. It's just many.
No, the IRS ones I know. I've spoken to scammers on phones before, and also like weird survey assholes. They're not scammers or anything, but they're asking. It's not like census or anything. I just don't want to answer it.
Yeah, no, I know.
They're like, it's only going to take 15 minutes, and then 20 minutes passes. I'm just like, you know what? And just hang up. And if you call back, I'm going to answer and then hang up. I'm not going to say hello. I'm going to leave the phone hanging and then hang up.
See, those people I feel a little worse for because they're probably just trying to make a living doing a job.
No, they're doing their job.
They have to deal with these assholes.
But
screaming at them.
And I hate, you know what? I hate the system for making people have to do that.
Oh, agreed.
Simply because you're interrupting somebody doing something.
Sure. And I mean, they always call, it's always fucking dinner time. Like, I guess that's when people are home. So they want to call in the evening when people are home, but it's always shit like that. But yeah, I just like, I feel like
scammers I'll just hang up on.
I feel like those scammers that are taking advantage of people over the phone or over the internet, primarily the elderly, are just like literally the worst fucking people in existence. They're just the worst.
Well, because again, you know what? Leech is too good. You know what? No, Leech is perfect because I don't see a point for a fucking leech.
That's true. No, you're right.
I can't think of a point for a leech. And if you want to go better than that, I guess vampire. They're just a gross thing that exists and should not.
Well, it's crazy too, the structure. If you watch any of the YouTube videos that are more talking about, like the guy that takes it down, he talks a lot about the structure of the organizations, and they're like, they're huge. They're like big business. Like they have these top level executives all the way down to these call center people that are, sitting around making these calls all day, trying to fuck with people. And it's it always surprised me how rudimentary it is. Like their scams are not complex. They're usually, like I said, they open a fucking notepad file and start typing shit, or they'll open a DOS prompt and like run a bat command that does some stupid thing, makes it look like there's something going on. It's so rudimentary to me. I think the most complex one I saw is I did get one once that was a link that used PayPal's APIs, or it must have been the API. It could have been, again, like I said, using query streaks or something, to actually use PayPal's site to make it generate what looked like a legitimate invoice. And then they would say, like, here's the invoice, call us at this number if you have a problem. Yeah, and then you're calling them. But that was the most legit one I saw, because it actually had a PayPal URL, because, again, they're just kind of feeding information to PayPal system, and then PayPal system generated the page.
There is a scam. Oh, sorry, go on. Sorry.
But it just surprises me how rudimentary they are still. Go ahead, you go. I got another story I'll do when you're done.
There's a scam that I've never run into. My wife apparently has, or is aware of, is that apparently what they'll do is they'll call you, wait for you to answer, and then hang up.
Okay. And
if you call them, you get charged for calling them because they treat themselves as a service.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
That's one I've heard of before.
Yeah,
I heard from her, and I never knew it was true. But if that is fucking diabolical.
No, I believe I've heard of that too. That makes sense. That's why I don't call anybody back. I don't. Did I ever mention? I think I mentioned that show Reboot, where there was the one character, her voicemail was just text me.
Yes,
I need to do that. I want to just change my voicemail to that. Like, don't call me ever. Just text me. I don't want to answer the phone.
Just text.
Yeah. But I never answer the phone, and especially if they don't leave a message. If somebody leaves a message, I call them back. Otherwise, I don't call them back. No, I was just gonna mention. I remember when I was a kid, my brother played Diablo 2 all the time.
Ooh,
and he was like 12
2.
at the time, but he had this internet friend that he played with, and they set up this web page that looked like a legit Diablo thing, and it was like, hey, get free bonus items with your Diablo card.
No.
And they fished people all the time, and people went to the site.
BattleNet was such a fucking mess.
Well, they go to the site, and it was just like, enter your username and password, and people would enter it, and then it had a splash page that would be like, thanks, your items will be available soon. And they go into people's accounts with the login and steal all their shit.
And steal all your shit, and then try to get money to give them back.
No, they didn't even do that. They just went and stole their shit. So they had it for their characters.
Assholes. I'm sorry, they're assholes.
I know, they were. Well, my brother was like 10, 12, something like that at the time. He
was a little asshole if he was part of that.
He was a little asshole, but he didn't know any better. It was like his friend that was probably 17, something 18, that was taking advantage of them.
What the fuck does a 17 or 18-year-old have to do with a 10-year-old?
Dude, this was the early days of the internet, man. People would play games and just,
I guess.
You didn't know. Like, you'd get on a game like Diablo 2.
I guess, yeah, you're right. You're just kind of online with them.
There really wasn't voice chat back then in the early days.
No, you're right. I
so
forgot
you didn't
about
know.
those days.
So they just be texting. And then I think like they ended up adding each other like ICQ or whatever it was. Look, and they just talked over that.
I'll concede how bad I was, because around that time, if I wasn't on the Eris forums, like Final Fantasy VII Eris forums, I was playing Final Fantasy VII and Kingdom Hearts. Okay. That's all I did.
No,
I wasn't around people.
I got my first computer when I was like 8 or maybe 9 or something like that. You know what I need to do? There was a game it came with. I'm typing here. So the game, 1993. This game that the Seventh Guest came with my computer.
Oh my god!
Great
the Seventh
game.
Guest.
Excellent
Holy
game.
Shit.
But that was 1993 it came out. So I got my first computer in 93, so I was 11 years old.
Do you remember?
All I did was fuck with my computer.
Do you remember the Independence Day toys? Like the movie Independence Day?
Yeah, I don't remember the toys, though. Obviously,
they had toys. Each toy had a floppy disk.
Oh, really?
It had a game. That was when I got my first computer.
Dude,
when those toys were out.
Those days were great because games were on floppy disks, and if you wanted it, you just took your friend's floppy disk and copied it. The copy protection they had would be like it would come with a manual, and when you started the game, it would be like,
don't do it.
Go to page 5 in the manual. What's the third word on the page? And you'd have to type it in to play the game. That was their copy protection.
Okay.
And I'd have my mother bring the guide to work and make photocopies of it for me. But I even before the internet, I was on bulletin board systems back then, because that was the thing. You'd use your modem to dial into a local server. It would literally call a phone number local and connect to that server, and it was called a bulletin. Do you remember BBSs?
I know. I was about to mention it was a BBS.
Yeah, bulletin board system, BBS. And you'd connect, and people would get on there to like share stuff and play games. So I was doing those when I was like 11.
See, the closest I ever got was I used to play a game called The Keep, and I would play Muds.
I don't think I remember that one.
On IRC. I used to play Muds and Mushes.
Was it all text-based games?
It was all text-based role-playing games.
Oh, IRC was great too.
To playing with other people.
When IRC came out, I'd just go on there and I'd what's the word I'm looking for? I didn't hack them. I didn't spam them. I would just fuck with people, I guess. I'd go on.
You would troll.
I'd troll people. Yeah. I mean, I was little. I was having fun. I'd go into like.
You would do that shit now if you could.
I totally would. But I'd go into like the meet a person ones, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm a 22-year-old female, and then they'd private message me, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm. What was that, broad? Yasmin Bleeth or something like that. And they'd be like, really? And I'd be like, yeah, here's a picture of me. And I'd download it online, send it to them. I'd be like,
Bleeth.
You really Yasmin Bleeth? I'd be like, yeah, I'm totally Yasmin Bleeth. And they'd be like, oh my God, I want to meet you so bad. And I'd just fuck with people like that.
You just pulled that name out of the ether. Like, nobody's talks about Yasmin Bleeth anymore.
Bleeth was a good looking woman back when she was on Baywatch. I remember she was one of my, preteen crushes.
I guess this is a perspective thing, because this is a perspective thing. I think she's attractive. Was attractive. I don't know what she looks like now. But she just looked like the stock standard white girl to me.
All right, well, here's the important thing. I find brunettes much more attractive than blondes, and they were all blondes on Baywatch. So she was like,
so she
that's
stuck
not
out.
Well, that's not true. Who was
I didn't watch Baywatch, but I just know what's his name? Can't think of his name now.
Hasselhoff
was on it.
No, there was one woman on it with really short hair too that was brunette. I forget who the actress was, but yeah, Yasmin Bleeth was like the token, super hot brunette on that show. All the other chicks. Why am I saying chicks?
See, for me,
all the other women were blonde.
All those other broads, they were all on there.
I actually say broad a lot. I love
I
the
know,
word broad.
and it's so fucking hilarious to me.
I love the word broad.
When you're like, why are all these women selling bras on TikTok?
Oh no, it's the wigs.
And I went into my
that's what I messaged you about, yeah.
And I went into my like pontification about like possible money and shit like that, cultural shit. He goes, "There's another broad."
Well, dude, I opened TikTok the other night and I'm swiping through, and like every third one was some broad selling wigs. And they got a bunch of them behind them. They're like, all right, let's try on number 3. Let's put on number 3. And somebody in the chat would be like, can I see number 38? And
you know what?
All right, let's go get 38.
I think it's your fault. I think it gravitates you to certain things because you looked at one thing. I think it's just...
I didn't look at it. It came up in the recommended,
fucking with you.
But
because it recommends shit based on the algorithm.
Yeah, but I didn't watch it for more than 2 seconds. You probably looked
at some stupid bullshit, didn't pay attention to it.
Oh, you know what?
All of a sudden, it thinks that you want it.
I might have in the chat wrote this is fucking dumb or something. I don't know. Is broad a sexist word? Is broad considered a sexist word to use now?
It depends on who you talk to. I mean, I guess
I love
the word
broad.
Cunt.
No. My wife
you say
hates that
cunt,
word,
everyone hates you
words.
Unless you're in Britain or Australia, then they think you're a friend.
I like the word cunt because it's the only word with any teeth anymore.
It does have teeth.
Fuck. Shit, all the other curse words that are out there don't have teeth anymore. They're just used. Cunt is the only one that has any teeth anymore.
So I grew up with the mindset of dick and cunt were equivalent bad words.
Yeah, not even close now, right?
But as I got older in high school, it was the reaction is way I go, he's a dick. And people are like, yeah, he's a dick. But she's a cunt. Whoa, what the fuck is wrong with you sexist piece of shit?
If you call a woman a cunt, you're going to get flamed. Fuck? And you know what? Rightfully so. That's fine. You shouldn't call a woman a cunt. I just like using it in oh, that fucking cunt. Like, just random person, like, oh,
I don't know. See, I'm not on the same level with you. I don't use the word at all unless this is the topic, so it doesn't matter for me in my personal life.
Right.
But what it confuses me, because one, again, I said I saw them as equivalent words, but two is like, okay, so what word can I use the word bitch? No, you can't say bitch anymore. Okay, what the fuck am I supposed to do when I'm dealing with a female that pisses me off?
Oh, yes, yeah, broad is not for pissing you off. Huh? Yeah, my wife hates the word cunt. She absolutely hates when I use it, and I don't understand. I try not to use it
because it has teeth. I think it's that's
absolutely why it is. But I always use the excuse you said before. I'm like, in England they say it all the time. It's just a regular word there, so it's just a cultural thing.
When I was with the Australian Army, those dudes was saying abo, which I didn't know abo was a derogatory term for Aborigine, but one of the guys in the group was an Aborigine, so he didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
But then they were saying cunt every 2 seconds.
Yeah, they do.
And I was just like, the fuck? So you mean to tell me we just created this arbitrary rule where that's the bad, that's the N word for white women?
Well, we assign a lot of power.
No black woman ever really gets called a cunt.
We do. We assign a ton of color. We assign a ton of power to words that in almost all cases there's no justification for. The N-word's different because there's cultural history to back up why that's not an appropriate word to use. Cunt is just somebody decided that's a vicious and bad word to use and you're not supposed to say it. It has absolutely, as far as I know, again, I'm uninformed about anything. As far as I know, it has absolutely no real reason.
Which, and this is, I think we're going to probably close it up after this because we're going to say some really fucked up shit. One of my favorite episodes of Always Sunny in Philadelphia is an episode that Mac came out as gay. They were talking to an arbiter.
Yep.
And Frank said, "Look out, faggot," to Mac.
Right. I remember the episode. Yep.
And he was saying like everybody knew to look at Mac. Yep. And Mac goes, "Well, a faggot is a bundle of sticks they use to burn gay people."
Right.
I was like, okay, here's my argument with that. Fag isn't still what you are in that term, like using it equivalent to the black woman, because that was his argument. Like, what would you use to talk to the arbiter, to say the arbiter, other than her name or what she is?
Right.
Like, what word would you use? And she's a black lady. So what word would you use? Now, I get the logic. I 100% get the logic, except I don't see the equivalency in history, because yes, there is a bad history to what that is. But it wasn't like the gay person was just called a faggot all that whole time. It was the tool used to kill them. Now, if you want to call black people whips, that would be an equivalent.
Or
an
noose,
thing.
or lynch.
Or noose, or tree, or, that would be an equivalent thing.
Yeah, but you're right.
A black person was, and the reason why we always equate it to a black person, we never say like, if you call somebody, because the definition, quote unquote definition for nigger is ignorant person.
Right.
That is what I grew up with it being, and that's what it apparently a lot of people believes. But we always equate it to a black person because it wasn't like it existed prior to black people being here.
Right.
It was taken from negro, which meant black.
Right. Yep.
And then turned into a derogatory term. So that word was always meant to be that.
Of course. Yeah. No, I 100%
no matter
agree.
what.
Did you? Random side note. I was in the car and I'd heard it before, but came on Sirius XM. Have you ever heard Aziz Ansari's bit on the word niggardly?
Oh my God, no! And I would love to watch it.
It's so good because the word has like an actual normal definition.
It is a word. Yeah,
he's got a whole bit on it. It's hilarious. Anyway, you should check it out.
Because I like Donald Glover's. He had a bit on it as well.
Oh, did he? Oh, I didn't know that. Aziz Ansari was really, really funny. I'm
going to look that up after this.
Yeah, it's really good.
That's a comedian I feel sorry for, dude.
Yeah.
I never liked him, but I feel sorry for him.
Me Too came up and did a lot of good, and then the pendulum swung too far, and people like him got hit by it. I feel like he's kind of coming back now, but not as much as Louis C.K., who apparently is just fine now. Which he actually,
he's a white guy. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, right. White guy. He's got white guy power. I forgot.
Like all he has to do is act very calm and not do anything else fucked up.
Like I mean, he
didn't like legitimately rape anybody.
No, he's one of those. He's like, I think there's like
his situation
categories.
was very gray area.
Yeah, there's 3 categories to be. There's the people that like legit use their power to like rape people like Weinstein. And there's people that did
Very
things
questionable.
that are didn't seem harmful, but because of the power dynamic, I guess people see it as being bad. And that's Louis C.K. And then there's the people that just got shit on, like Aziz Ansari.
Aziz Ansari
just got hit by one woman says
what's
a couple
going on?
things.
I just had a bad date. That's really what it was.
Yeah, one woman comes out and says some stuff that, well, again, like just sounds like a bad date, but the pendulum swung so far that everybody has to react with, veracity. Is that the right word? Yeah, veracity.
Yep.
That is what it is.
And here's the last thought I'm going to leave everybody with before I shut the fuck up. Isn't it funny that Aziz Ansari sounds like Kevin Hart's whiny voice?
Yeah, I never noticed that. It's so true. Yeah, go check out that bit, though. It's really funny.
I'm going to.
Did you watch the Super Bowl?
No.
Did we watch the Super Bowl?
You know what I watched? The commercials.
I didn't even watch the commercials. The
Flash.
I was gonna put it on, and then I was like, fuck it. I'm not. Why even bother? I don't give a fuck.
I'm a 1985. I'm a 1989 Batman geek, and I saw that trailer. I watched that trailer. I was like, okay, Ezra Miller, don't give a fuck about that guy, and people are like, well, I'm not going to support him. Yeah, but what about everyone else who worked on the project? Again, it's the same fucking thing with Hogwarts. Like these huge projects are bigger than the one asshole who fucks it up.
Yes. Yep. Agreed.
And the reason, and I think like that because in the military, one asshole could fuck up everything.
Sure.
Now he shouldn't be in any future movies, and that is when I'll decide, okay, fine. But he was fucking up after they already worked their asses off on this movie.
No, agreed. So it's been done for a while, right?
Yeah.
They just waited?
His fuck-ups made it a lot worse, and then WB not knowing the fuck that they were doing.
Right.
But seeing Michael Keaton in the suit again, because the movie's not about Ezra Miller. Nobody gives a shit. Dude, they want to see Ben Affleck. They want to see Michael Keaton.
even the poster has the bat wing, I think, hanging over or something.
Yeah, just in it.
I'm just they're really shoehorning that in as hard as they can.
Batman needed his own movie in the DCEU, and they never gave it to him.
Nope.
They're finally putting Ben Affleck, the most comic accurate look to Batman, and they gave him the blue and gray. He's blue and gray in this.
I didn't notice that.
Not blue and gray. If you watch the trailer again, his cowl is a dark blue.
I'll have to watch it again.
It's gray. It's so dope looking. And then you see Michael Keaton, and it's just like, oh. And then they're doing Indiana Jones. I'm like, oh.
I was more excited about the Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Guardians of the Galaxy is one of my favorite movies of all time. I fucking love those movies. I fucking love those characters. I cannot wait for the third one. I had goosebumps watching it.
Winter Soldier was my favorite MCU film, but I have to say Guardians was the one that I wanted to go out of my way to see each one in the theater.
Guardians was weird because I think the reason I love it so much is because I went to see it with no expectations. I was like, I don't know these characters. It's another Marvel movie. I'm going to go check it out because of that. And I had zero expectations. And then when it was over, and I was like, that was fucking amazing.
It was really good.
So it was, I think even if it wasn't the best overall, the fact that my expectations were so low made it so much better. I cannot wait.
It's very heartfelt.
Yes.
Those movies are very heartfelt.
So good. The first one's so good. Second one's so good. The music is great. I cannot wait for the third one.
The trailer had my wife kind of tear up a little bit because the music was just perfect.
It was, yeah. They had the parts with Rocket and Layla, the otter. What is she again?
The otter.
Right?
She's an otter.
That really pulled.
Here's for me. This is the reason why I want to watch it so bad. I love, and I mean, I am in love with Nebula. I fucking
Nebula's great.
love Nebula.
Yeah.
I've been wanting her to be part of the team since the first movie.
I like Mantis. Mantis is my favorite. I love Mantis. See,
Mantis is funny. Her and Drax are the best duo. Comedy.
They're fantastic. I love Mantis.
I think they're doing that with Peter Quill and Nebula, where they're teaming them up to be a really funny duo.
It looks like it. Yeah.
But one thing I noticed watching the trailer, and maybe it's just me, I'm looking at the movie, I'm like, everybody got fat. I love it, but everybody got fat.
I did think looking at it everybody got older. I didn't think fat. I thought older.
It was either that or the makeup is a little lessened. In each sequel in a movie, they do less and less with the makeup.
Yeah.
And, the makeup for Drax was just so intense that they probably have him in the suit most of the time because of that. And Dave Bautista has gained weight.
Right. Yep.
Him.
Him and Gamora in particular, I was like, they look older.
Well, Gamora they made look rough because she's a different Gamora.
Well, that makes sense.
They made her follow more the comic version where they're not.
Right. It's gonna be fucking amazing.
Nebula, look at her again. She even looks like either the makeup's really bad or she's aged up. But when I say got fat, I mean when we get old, we get fat. So that's my reaction. Not like, oh man, you're a fat ass. I'm not doing that. I'm a fat ass.
Obviously, they're in a fucking movie. They're all working out, trying to stay in shape. They're not fat, but
and I forgot that Chris Pratt was the douchebag, the skinny, hot douchebag friend in Wanted. I forgot that he used to be skinny, then Wanted? Got fat, then got skinny again.
Oh, I knew he was because he was in Parks and Rec, and I loved that show, and he was fat.
He was fat in Parks and Rec.
For the first few seasons. And again, not fat, he was dad bod.
He was a big dude.
Dad bod.
Yeah.
And then random season, all of a sudden, he was super thin, and I forget how they explained it in the show. They had a joke.
I think Wanted came out before Parks and Rec.
Really?
I think Wanted came out before Parks and Rec. I can be wrong here. But he was skinny in that movie. And he was the douchebag friend that slept with his girlfriend.
I don't even remember.
With the main character's girlfriend.
Didn't even remember that.
Nobody really remembers Wanted except for like the bend the bullet thing. The bend the bullet joke. Right. But I think the movie's underrated. Personally, it's a popcorn flick. There's no don't use your brain, but it's really fun.
Who the hell? Angelina Jolie was in that, right?
Yes, Angelina Jolie. Yeah. The villain was Morgan Freeman.
Right, okay.
And Morgan Freeman's always fun as a bad guy.
Morgan Freeman's awesome in anything he's in, but he's especially good as a bad guy.
Oh yeah, he's just so much fun. What was that? Was it?
I wish he would narrate my life.
I don't care for him to narrate it because I feel like he'd be judging me the whole time.
Well, no judgment. I just want him to narrate. I don't want him. I just want some. I don't need him following me around. I just want like an AI voice of his.
And here he is once again. Taking a careful poop.
Matt's gonna turn on the bidet now. Let's make sure he gets it all off this time. Oh, seems to have forgotten a little. He's gonna use some toilet paper to wipe it.
I sent a link to the video of the poopy balls.
Poopy balls, yeah.
The fact that you named it poopy balls hurts.
It's great.
It hurts so much.
Dude, that clip was so good. I had to.
Them that link. And they all had to, like, everybody in the group had to comment, like that's just awful. That sucks.
For people listening,
being sick.
I fucked up.
All I want to do was cry.
I fucked up, and apparently didn't have our software on to actually record the video properly, but it still backed up the video for some reason. So I wasn't actually able to crop and make good videos in the software. So I had to take the separate videos of us and then kind of like cobble them together. To make a video, but I was like, I have to make a video for this. This is too good. But now, from now on, I should be able to make little video clips. I'm going to start posting those so they can be shared and stuff of, anything fun that comes up in our conversations. Because video clips are fun. But anyway, I guess that's it, guys. We're maybe around an hour, just over an hour. So I hope you enjoyed the micro episode. The website's up.
Micro
again.
For us.
Yeah, for us. ATIWIHY.com. We should have the shop up soon. If you want to buy any crazy merch, obviously that helps support us. We'll have some shirts with the logo up and some other.
Try to come up with some stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna come up with some stuff. We'll keep it updated regularly with new ideas and stuff like that. But send us an email, please. You can go to the website or email podcast@ATIWIHY.com. Thanks for listening, folks.
See you guys.